Well, finally tonight, you know, the LA Times recently did an in-depth story on a program working to cut down on gun violence in Detroit. It's called D.L.I.V.E, Detroit Life is Valuable Every Day. And it starts in the emergency room at Sinai-Grace Hospital with counselors who uniquely understand the cycle of violence, and they stay in touch with victims as they recover and sometimes really struggle with the reality of what they survived. Here at One Detroit, we discovered D.L.I.V.E while producing our documentary called Pathways to Prison. One Detroit producers Bill Kubota and Will Glover have the story.
The Detroit Sinai-Grace Hospital emergency room. And just down the corridor, the home base for D.L.I.V.E, a program working to reduce gun violence.
Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the guy who shot you now?
Oh, man.
Honestly.
I don't hate him. I forgive him. You know what I mean?
Ray WINANS works with young gunshot victims. First, as a bedside advocate, and then, as they heal physically, a counselor and mentor for as long as it takes. A bullet punctured GEROUNE's lung when a bout of road rage turned into gunfire.
When I first asked you, how did you feel, you was ready to kill. I remember that.
Yeah.
You was calling your homeboys and everything. Talk a little bit about that.
For sure. Well, you know, it took me time to get there. Trust me, that's not how I felt at first at all. I mean, I wanted to kill, bro, for sure. I wanted somebody to kill him. I wanted anything to happen to him. You know, I wanted something negative to happen to him. He did something negative to me that I feel like I didn't deserve, you know, at the end of the day. But I know, can't wish nothing negative on nobody, and to live with yourself is better to forget and to hate, you know, so I forgave him. I prayed.
Or at least afterwards, you know, I ain't decided.
Calvin Evans is Ray's partner.
In D.L.I.V.E, Detroit Life is Valuable Every Day, we are now at max capacity. We have 25 guys on our caseload. It's 2 of us that are actually violent intervention specialists.
This gunshot victim is 17 years old.
I had like 20 holes in my intestine.
Wow, because it was ricocheting.
Yeah. Dang. I felt it though when it was ricocheting. Like I felt like
Just a little pain.
First I didn't know I got hit until I started jogging though.
Mm-hmm. So what, you was jogging to like get away or what?
At first I wasn't gonna run when they shot, you know. But like I thought I felt something hit my stomach, or I thought my heart dropped. So I started jogging. Then when I got to jogging, I felt something bouncing around.
Chicago has more murders than any other city, but the murder rate based on population, Detroit is higher. Overall, crime is down, but gun violence remains a part of life on the northwest side near Sinai-Grace Hospital. Emergency room doctor and D.L.I.V.E director Taululu Shanui realized something had to be done.
You hear it on all ends. You hear it from the doctors. Man, this is crazy. You hear it from the patients, and you see the anger and the angst and the sadness. You see social workers being, you know, everyone feeling fed up, like there's no hope, like there's nothing to do. And you see individuals who are laying in bed, and you talk to them, and they talk about, man, sometimes I got into this situation because they feel like there's no options.
D.L.I.V.E's approach to violence prevention is not new. Other programs like this can be found in a few hospitals nationwide, and they're all rooted to a 30-year-old Detroit emergency room study that happened to catch Dr. Shanui's eye.
I was walking through the trauma ICU, all these different departments, they show their papers that they published, and I saw a paper from the 80s that said urban trauma, a chronic recurrent disease.
That study found so many repeat cases of gunshot wounds, doctors realized they were looking at an epidemic. If they could treat cancer and cardiovascular disease, why couldn't they find a way to treat urban violence?
With this program that Dr. Sinui is doing, they're actually looking at the ER visit, looking at the repeated visit, and then making changes where that person doesn't get caught in that revolving door.
Travis CAUSEY was a drug dealer who found himself in the ER a second time with gunshot wounds. He started with D.L.I.V.E a few months ago.
Before all this, I got caught a pistol at 17. That's because I was scared. I was scared of other black men.
With connections he's made through Calvin, he's got a job, and he's working towards his GED.
I came here, the police harassed me. I met Calvin because when he came to my bedside, right after the police did. So I'm thinking he the police. I'm like, man, go on here with that, man. You the police, man.
What actually happened is the police is looking to investigate it, so they're treating individuals like suspects, and these individuals no longer want to be treated like a suspect. They want to be treated humanely.
I didn't think his program was gonna really help. I'm just like, it's just another black dude just talking, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like everybody else is always, they always got a promise. Through that promise, you always let down.
Kelvin says trust is the biggest hurdle, but he earns it because D.L.I.V.E doesn't work with the police like some of the other violence intervention programs do. Kelvin's background helps too. He's been a drug dealer, he's been shot, he spent 24 years in prison. He knows what these young men are thinking.
That's why there are various different approaches is necessary, because you want an individual to understand that they are the victim. In spite of what it is that may have happened, you are the victim once you enter into this hospital as a victim of violence. This is my house right here. It ain't even here no more. Oh, this was my house. It was right here on this corner.
Calvin and Travis are back in the old neighborhood. These were Calvin streets 30 years ago. They're Travis's now.
You see the picture?
Yeah, all right, yeah, I like that one. Oh, boy. I feel like candy store, boy.
Travis wants a real career now. Calvin's connected him with professional photographer ERNEST SISSON.
I always wanted to do photography. I never thought about pursuing that for real because I was worried about what my friends was gonna think, what the hood was gonna think. If I don't make it with it, I gotta go back to the hood, and then these same wolves here. How can you be a wolf and then have any type of softness to you? The dude in the hood feels so good when he got that new gun. Me, my new gun. It feels good.
What I admire about this young man is he has a vision. Like, I mean, he can see anything and be able to, he can explain it to a T as far as what he's feeling out of it.
I got shot over here on Stravemore, a couple blocks over across. Over here, right? That didn't stop me. I got shot in the head when I was 19. 2012, October 1st. Didn't stop me. This carrot, man.
That's his love right there, see?
D.L.I.V.E's first anniversary comes in April. Calvin says with so many other victims of violence being turned away, the program needs to find more funding and more staff to help them.
Violence is a public health issue, not a criminal justice issue. And in order for us to fix our criminal justice system, we have to cure this mental health component, this public health component. And then we will begin to see the change.
And we so appreciate those young men sharing their stories. You know, we shot that story in 2017. The program is now 2 years old. And according to the L.A. Times, out of the 80 participants, none of them have been shot or stabbed again. We will have a link to the story on our website at MiWeek.org.